Okay, then let's get started. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Martina. I'm a fourth-year pharmacy student at Swansea University, and I'm one of the annual conference organisers for the BPSA 83rd Monday. It's my delight to welcome you all to the Introduction to Annual Conference webinar, where we'll be delving into essentially the flagship event of the BPSA. So yeah, once again, sit tight, relax, and prepare your questions, and let's explore the annual conference together. We'll be joined by a variety of the executive, both past and current executive teams. So just to name a couple of names. So we're going to be joined by Erica, our competitions coordinator, Sue, our ERO, or external relations officer, Craig, our vice president, Agape, our policy officer, and Daniel, our BPSA advisory board member and the previous IPSF officer for the BPSA, as well as Noni, the immediate past president for the BPSA. So before we get into the introduction to annual conference, just a quick introduction into the annual conference organisers. So if you're not aware, the BPSA has two annual conference organisers because as you'll come to find out, the BPSA annual conference is a big event and requires a lot of organisation. And so it'll be very difficult for one person to handle all of this. So myself and Harvey, we are both fourth-year pharmacy students at Swansea University, and we've been fortunate enough to attend two annual conferences together. And actually the picture on the right was the picture that we took at our first annual conference in Portsmouth, the 81st annual conference at one of the black tie events. And as a result of us attending the annual conference, we went back and we thought, you know what, we would love for Swansea to host this event because it's never been hosted in Swansea before. And so we went to the next annual conference, ran for annual conference organizer, and here we are today. Harvey should hopefully be joining later, and so you will be hearing from him as well. But that's just us as annual conference organisers. But let's actually get into the topic of discussion for today, the BPSA annual conference. So what is it? It is the association's flagship event. So it's the one event of the year that the association will broadcast. You will hear a lot of conferences that the BPSA holds. We hold autumn area conferences, spring area conferences. We're currently in our autumn area conference season, so you might know of some that are happening this Saturday, such as the Western Area Conference, and next Saturday, such as the Southern and Northern Area Conferences, so look out for those information as well. But the BPSA Annual Conference is the one big flagship event of the year. It's essentially the event that brings pharmacy students all across Great Britain to one university, one city for a week of networking, celebration, advocacy, and yeah, so we get to hear from keynote speakers who will inspire and empower pharmacy students. We get themed social nights where we get to socialize with pharmacy students and trainees. And then we just get networking opportunities from the exhibition with pharmacy stakeholders and BPSA sponsors. So as you can see, a great event and one that you should definitely join. So keynote speakers. So during the day, one part of the day events is the keynote speakers. So we'll be hearing from trailblazers and experts within the world of pharmacy who'll be sharing their experiences to encourage and essentially inspire the next generation. In previous years, we've heard from military pharmacists, aesthetic pharmacists, prison pharmacists, pharmacists working in sustainability and digital technology. And so these are just a couple of pictures from previous years as to some of the speakers who have come to annual conference. It provides an opportunity for students to expand their network, to hear of and to expand their network and to potentially meet and connect with mentors who are perhaps in their area of interest or in their field of interest. And actually, a personal testimony that I can say from annual conference keynote speakers was actually hearing of a term called pharmacognosy, and how hearing of this term made me go back and do some research on it. And I ended up doing my entire research project for my undergrad dissertation on this from the BPSA annual conference. And so I know we talk about it as like inspiring the next generation, and it maybe looks as a future thing, but actually it can also impact your now as well. So that's one benefit from the keynote speakers. We have themed social nights. So during the day, we hear from keynote speakers and have conference business, which we'll delve into a bit later. But in the night, we have social nights. So each night there's a different social night with a different theme. In previous years, we've had Pride Night, we've had Cultural Night, where everyone comes dressed in their cultural clothes, which is a beautiful event because it provides an extra layer of bonding and an extra layer of connection with other pharmacy students. And you'll come to see that, you know, all of us will come from different unis, and that's a way for us to connect, maybe similar cities. But when you also add your cultural background, that's an additional layer for connection. So that's one great thing about BPSA AC social nights. We've had karaoke nights in previous years. We've had sports nights. We've also had the end of year annual conference BPSA ball. So end of week annual conference BPSA ball, where everyone dressed up in their finest glamorous dresses and outfits and dapper suits. And we just celebrate the end of the week. And yeah, try not to cry because the week is over. And then, yeah, so that's just the day and the night. But one important part of the annual conference is a day where we call BPSA Day. And our external relations officer, he or she is in charge of organizing and planning BPSA Day. And this year, our external relations officer is Sue. And I'm going to pass over to her to give a bit of introduction to herself and her plans for BPSA Day.
Hey guys, can you hear me and see me?
We can, yes, Sue.
Okay, perfect. I just finished work. So yeah, I'm really happy that we managed to make it. I only put the slide in because in case Craig, our previous CRO, in case he had to introduce me, but I guess I can do that myself. So like I said, I'm the external relations officer and I'm a really qualified pharmacist. Um, I think for me, BPSA Day was probably one of the most impactful days of annual conference. I'm someone that really likes networking and meeting new people, meeting external organizations, and I think BPSA Day is really about that. So um, I think because I enjoyed it so much, it's quite fun to plan. And every ERO will have their own vision. So I think for me, it's trying to give that opportunity for our delegates who will be attending AC the same opportunities as we had as a delegation for the past 2 years. It's my second year on exec, and I think it's just been really nice to see how different people work. And I'm not sure if this has already been said, but there will be a focus on like to kind of plan BPSA Day, so and also annual conference. So I think it'd be really nice to hear all your thoughts. Outside of work, I work in pediatrics, so children. I don't know if I can incorporate children and, and then to BPSA Day. But yeah, I guess it's just the opportunities to network and meet people that are like you and different new kind of sponsors and collaborators as well. And can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, so these are some pictures. When I say BPSA, this is I guess what it could look like. So we are going to have lots of stalls. I'm not sure if anyone has been before, but we have something called Pharmacy Exhibition, Pharmex for short. And this is when there are lots of different organizations or external companies that will come in, and they have lots of merch and freebies and leaflets and just different opportunities. So, for example, sometimes like hospitals might come in and just promote the different roles that are available at one hospital. So I think it's also a really good chance to network with the organizations that are hiring and see what's out there. And I think it's just a good opportunity to like get your foot into the door, especially if you're like third year or fourth year, like looking for foundation training places, just learning about the different organizations and what they offer. And we also run different workshops and different talks as well. And they're all in planning. And I think this year, what I'd really love to do in BPSA Day is have something a bit more like real life. So I really want everyone to feel that, like, even if you're a student or a trainee, that your voice can actually impact real world things. And I think that's what I've learned like with my time on BPSA, because actually a lot of external organizations like the RPS or NHS, they actually are really interested in hearing your opinion. And I think I want to bring some of that into BPSA Day as well. So that's something to look forward to. And then I think the rest I want to keep a secret. Can we have the next slide, please? Ooh, I think this is the Agape's. Isn't there two audio to this? Okay. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear the audio. But this is Agape, who's our policy officer for this year. And if you're not sure about her social media, you should definitely go and follow it because she puts lots of like pharmacy things and like uni, BPSA. So it's definitely fun. This is what BPSA Day was like last year. We had pink t-shirts. This year, I don't know if the t-shirt color has been revealed yet, so I won't reveal it. And this is Sparmex, as you can see. So I think it's just to give you a taster of what to look forward to. This year's conference will be in Swansea, so we're still planning rooms and things, but yeah, I think it's a lot busier, and you don't have to be an annual conference. No, you don't have to be like a delegate for the full week to attend BPSA Day. So if you just wanted to make BPSA Day, but you didn't have time for the full week, I think that one day is an option by itself as well. This is a sneak peek at the BPSA Day handbook. So I think to help facilitate the day, because it will be a bit different to last year, as I said, each external relations officer will have their own visions and goals for the day and what they want delegates to get out of it. I think for me, it's really about making the connections and making people feel comfortable and connecting with external organizations as well. So I think what's really nice would be to have a handbook to help facilitate those conversations and actually to help you guys know who our sponsors are, who do we collaborate with. And it's also just nice to take a souvenir away. And if you're going to be part of focus group, it would be really nice to hear like what you would like in the handbook, because it's at the end of the day, the delegates are the people that are going to use it. So I would love to tailor it as much as possible to make the best out of it. As you can see, there are two BPSA logos, but one of them will be changed to the annual conference logo. And I think that is everything on my bit. Yeah, passing on to Erica for competitions.
Thank you, Sue. As she said, Erica, our competitions coordinator, is going to just talk about the competitions that are available during the mandate, but also during AC. Erica, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, guys. So yes, like Martina said at the start, my name is Erica. I'm this year's competitions coordinator. I'm also a pharmacy student currently studying at Cardiff University. So I've kind of been talking about competitions for a few webinars, and I kind of wanted to take a different spin on things with this webinar and give you guys an insight into the upcoming competitions that we've got in the pipeline, just to kind of get you guys as excited as I am for what's to come. So just kind of before I start, hopefully after I've gone through some of the competitions we'll be covering throughout this mandate, you'll be able to you'll be able to better understand kind of like my vision for this mandate, which was to have competitions that, you know, allow members access to bigger and better opportunities, and also to create competitions that challenge members in various different ways, encourage them to, you know, think outside of the box, and also to have a competition that, you know, is tailored to people's various talents and, you know, interests. So without further ado, also a little PSA, these can be subject to change because they are in their planning stages, just before I continue. So the first one that we've kind of got coming up soon is our herbal medicine group research poster competition. So this is the first time we'll be running this competition. And you know, in pharmacy school, we learn a lot about the drugs and you know, their chemical compositions and stuff like that. But I don't think we really, as pharmacy students, understand the fact that a lot of the drugs that we do use do come from natural products. So I did want to alongside opening this for members to kind of explore, was to also provide members the opportunity to enter competitions with friends. This is the first year that we'll be kind of running group competition, so I'm really excited about that. I know that at Cardiff University during the first year, it is really encouraged to, I think there's a specific module that kind of focuses on herbal medicine, and there's a project pertaining to that. So if there are any Cardiff University students, especially first year, this is the competition for you. Rally all of your group members and just submit the poster because you've already done it. So just why not? The next competition that I'm really excited about is going to be in collaboration with Well Pharmacy, and it is a Dragon's Den style competition. So for those of you who are not too familiar with what Dragon's Den is, it's a competition. Sorry, it's not a competition. It's a program that gets kind of entrepreneurs and business people to promote or pitch their business ideas to investors. So the reason why we're calling it a Dragon's Den style competition is we're going to get or ask for pharmacy students to pitch a solution or an idea to a current issue within pharmacy. So the current topic that has been floating around has been in regards to the extended professional activities, believe that's what the EPA stands for. Just regarding how we can make it more streamlined, because each university interprets the task that students should carry out differently. So again, subject to change, but I'm really excited about this competition because it is new. We've not done it before. Prize wise, we're thinking to have hopefully have the finalists kind of pitch their final kind of presentation to delegates at AC, and the delegates at AC vote for the winning pitch. So really, really exciting. We'll have people from Well Pharmacy coming to help judge as well. So like I said, subject to change, but definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Next, just a reminder about the FarmSock engagement competition. It is still open, £100 for the winning farm sock. You know, farm socks do not have money, guys. So if you want your farm sock to have £100 in their back pocket, then definitely sign up for your BPSA/RPS membership. Alongside this, we have our legacy competition. We've run this for a hot minute, which is our RPS research poster competition. Just allows for people to submit their final year projects, and I think the winner gets to present their poster at the RPS annual conference. We've also got a calculations marathon, hopefully, coming up in the pipeline, in collaboration with one of our sponsors. And then we've got our Battle of the Areas campaign competition. So if you're rep or a liaison, definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm really excited about this competition, and many, many more. So I've got 2 minutes left, or a minute or so left. I just also wanted to touch up upon awards and just other things that we've going on within the kind of competitions side of things. So at awards night, we do present some of the winners of the competitions. It's a chance for us to celebrate the success and the achievements of our peers. So that is a really exciting night. And then alongside that, we also have weekly quizzes on Instagram every Friday, just to give you the opportunity to scrub up on your OTC skills, your whatever skills. We do questions on almost everything. But definitely get involved with comps, guys. It's really good to be able to kind of say that throughout your years of pharmacy, you've actively gone out of your way to participate in these initiatives. But enough said on that. I'm gonna hand over to Agape, our policy officer. and also a previous winner of one of our past competitions who will let you guys know a little bit more about, you know, the benefits of competing and actually winning one of our competitions. Thank you.
Hi, Agape, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. As Erica and Martina said, my name is Agape. I am the policy officer for the BPSA for this mandate, and I'm also a fourth-year pharmacy student at the University of Portsmouth. As Erica said, I had the amazing opportunity of taking part in a competition when I was actually in my first year of university. I'm currently in my fourth year now, but in my first year of university, I took part in the Black History Month competition in 2021, and the title was Health Inequalities Among the Black Community. I wrote about maternity mortality rates in Black women, and I made a presentation because this was something that I was passionate about and still am, looking at just the health disparities that Black women in the UK face when receiving care in the maternity sector, and also delving deeper into why that could be and the possibilities of that. So I entered the competition as an eager first year, not really having any expectation. And then a couple of months later, I received a message from the competitions coordinator, from the annual conference organizer, letting me know that I had actually won the competition and that I was able to go to the awards night. What I really loved about the competition was it was a great way that I could practice my writing and researching skills, as something that in first year or second year is not really something that is really championed, especially when you are writing reports or just like honing in on your writing skills. But on top of that, I was able to actually go to awards night, and I was able to meet so many different people from all walks of life. The awards night is such a special evening in the annual conference week, where you meet different sponsors. And I was also given the opportunity to actually say a little bit about my topic and the competition that I won, and why I wanted to speak about that. So I was able to speak in front of so many different people who were who are qualified in their profession, and just big names. And as a first year student, that was such a very an amazing opportunity for myself. And then on top of that, my award was actually mentioned in my university. So on my university website, the head of my year found out about this, and they actually wrote an article. But it was just an amazing opportunity, and I would highly recommend that you get involved in the different competitions that are had. As Erica mentioned, keep a lookout on the social media, because you'll see that there are different opportunities for different awards, and who knows what that award could lead you to and the people that you could meet because of that. And now, as the policy officer, if we can go to the next slide, please. Amazing. So at the annual conference, we do something called conference business. So what conference business actually is the annual general meeting of the BPSA. And this is where we as members, who you will be a part of if you come to annual conference, every single day, or for most days, except for the BPSA day, we discuss ideas and desires for the association, for the profession, and also for students, and also looking forward to the future of pharmacy and pharmacy education. This is also where executive members are able to provide feedback from the different roles that they had within the year, and letting us know what they did, any recommendations they have, just to give us a further insight as to the different roles in the BPSA. Here we also have the opportunity to get a deeper dive and also ask questions with regards to the different roles. So in order for something to be brought forth in at the conference business, which we will talk you through in more detail closer to the date, a motion needs to be brought. So what is a motion? A motion is a statement which outlines an opinion that you have, and it usually starts with this association believes phrase. What we love about the conference business is that there's a whole scope of motions that are brought. So some at the beginning can be a little bit more humorous, and then they get a little bit more serious, and people can actually start to debate different motions. So in order for a motion to be brought forth, it needs to have a proposer and a seconder, so somebody who puts the motion forward, and then somebody who agrees and seconds that motion. And then what happens when a motion is proposed, seconded, and then the members vote on it, the motion then gets passed and becomes a part of the association. So on the side there's a motion that actually myself and the previous speaker, Erica, from competitions, who is the competitions coordinator, we put through last year, which was, this association believes that informed students should be educated by expert patients on ways they could support sickle cell patients. And so the reason why I put that as one of the examples there leads me on to my next point, is what do we actually do with these policies? So within the BPSA, the policies hold the basis of all the work that we do. The things that we advocate for, the campaigns we run, the webinars we do, the events that we go to, and all the other championing and educational prospects and things that we are interested in, they all form the basis of the policies. And what I really love about that, it means is that you, as somebody attending, you can have a genuine impact on not just the year that you go, but on the next years, when the policies that you've put in place are able to become like proposed and then seconded, is the work continues. So with the motion that I read earlier, we actually had an event a couple of weeks ago, our Black History Month event, where we were actually able to action this motion. We were able to have a person who has sickle cell disease, they were able to share the experience, and then they were able to teach pharmacy students. So what I love is that within the conference business, with the BPSA policies, we turn these ideas that we have, these early stages ideas, but then we actually turn them into actionable change and action. So that is just a brief summary on the BPSA policies and the conference business that we do have. So yeah, it's making sure that the voices of the members are heard, not just from an executive perspective, but also from, if you're an eager first year and you want to join, your voice can also be heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erica and Agape, for enlightening us on competitions, your experience as a competitions winner, and on conference business and its impact on BPSA policy and advocacy. So going back onto annual conference as a whole, so these are just a couple of pictures from the last annual conference in Norwich. The top left picture is from BPSA Day. As you can see, all the exhibitions, all the students asking questions, and if you squint closely, you can see all the goodies and the freebies in the form of tote bags, pens, and little note pads, which come very handy when you're looking for something to write on, or if you need to make a note of something. So that's great in terms of BPSA Day. In the top right, we have the BPSA Awards Night. We've touched on this briefly as to what it is. It's basically where students come together with the sponsors and stakeholders within the world of pharmacy, and then celebrate the achievements of all those who've entered competitions or those who have received awards. It's a great way for us to also just dress up, look nice, and then make connections. If you go to the bottom right, you'll see there's workshops. So that's one thing that Sue mentioned as part of BPSA Day, is we hold workshops with different stakeholders within the world of pharmacy. Once again, in previous years, we've had workshops with the Pharmacist Defence Association, with Well Pharmacy. We've held a GPHC roundtable panel where you can feedback directly to the GPHC and tell them what you do like, what you don't like about the course, and you can be as professionally and respectfully blunt as you'd like to be. And so that's a great opportunity that the BPSA does provide to pharmacy students. And then in the bottom left, you will see a picture of the BPSA, the previous BPSA executive team at the BPSA ball, so the end of week or end of conference ball. And just a touch, if you're interested in joining the BPSA executive team, the best way for you to do that is actually by joining annual conference or attending annual conference for the entire week. Because one of the things at the end of the week that we do is the elections, and to become on the executive team, you have to nominate yourself for the elections, but you also need to have someone who will, similar to the conference business policies and motions, you need to have someone who will propose you and someone who will second you. And then you give a whole speech, and then if the delegation finds you worthy enough, I guess, then you are elected into the position and you will serve as a respective role for the next mandate. Exciting opportunities that come from being on the BPSA executive team, as you'll come to find out. And by attending the annual conference for the entire week, not only do you get to give yourself eligibility to join the to nominate yourself for an election, but you also get to hear directly from the executive team, as Agape mentioned, during conference business, on their tips and advice and recommendations based off of their work. So that was the 82nd annual conference. We are currently in our 83rd mandate for the BPSA, thus meaning that the next conference is the 83rd conference. So I mentioned earlier that myself and Harvey are the annual conference organizers, and the annual conference normally happens in the University of the Annual Conference Organisers, thus meaning that the next, or the 83rd annual conference, will be held in Swansea University. So the theme for this conference is Pharmacy and the World of Specialisms. And Harvey and I sat together and chose this theme because we are part of the 4th year cohort. We are part of the cohort which will graduate and qualify, God willingly, as prescribers. And there's a lot of talk regarding what this actually means for pharmacy students. Does this mean we're going to have a formulary that we're going to prescribe from? Are we going to have a generic formulary, or are we going to have to specialize as traditionally pharmacists have done as IPs? There's a lot of uncertainty, lots of talk about it, but Harvey and I thought, well, if this is a conference where 4th years might just be their last annual conference and the rest of the year groups will be also qualifying as prescribers, then we thought it would be nice to touch on this. And so if it's a case of when we do qualify, we do have to specialize, we're not really exposed to that as pharmacy students for the different specialties within pharmacy that perhaps maybe we could prescribe into. And so this theme of Pharmacy in the World of Specialisms is going to explore the different specialties. We'll be asking prescribers, IPs, and consultants within different specialties. With right now we've got pediatrics and neonatology confirmed, we've got aesthetics, we've got cardiology or cardiovascular, we've got minor ailments. So we're going to see a vast array of different speakers from different fields and specialties within pharmacy, who will be detailing their experiences, expertise, and their journeys as how they came from a pharmacy student to a pharmacist, to becoming an independent prescriber, and maybe a consultant. Each and every one of the speakers that we've got lined up currently and in the future are experts in their field, and we are looking forward, and hope you are looking forward to hearing from them as well. And then I hope you guys have got your diaries out, because you need to make notes of these dates. The dates for annual conference is Sunday the 13th of April to Sunday the 20th of April. And I think we've said quite a little bit about annual conference, and surely by now enough to let you know that this is something that you do not want to miss as a MPharm student. So if you've got the availability, put it in your diary, make sure you're aware of the dates, and don't forget, because annual conference this year is going to be big, it's going to be bold, and it's one that you do not want to miss. So yeah, that's just if you look at the right picture, that's myself, Harvey, and the previous annual conference organizer, one of the previous annual conference organizers, Elizabeth. In the left corner, you can see just the lavish picture from the last year's annual conference awards night and RPS dinner. As you guys can see, it's a black tie event. When do you get as a pharmacy student to, dress up, look good? You don't really get those opportunities that much unless maybe you're pharmacy bored. But if you're someone who loves to dress up, and I can tell some pharmacy students are definitely that type of person, coming to an annual conference where you get those opportunities is the best way for you to do so. And then in the middle, you can see some of the awards from the competitions that Erica was speaking about earlier. So yeah, if you guys want a glass plaque to put in your wall, in your trophy case or whatnot, then enter competitions, come to annual conference, hopefully become an awards winner and take home an award whilst looking good. And then, yeah, so we're just going to delve into the past experiences with annual conference. So we've got a couple of varying testimonies from students, past executive teams, team members who are just going to share what annual conference did to them and what they enjoyed from it. So just going to start off. with Romy. So maybe you've seen Romy before. Romy is a third-year pharmacy student at Keele University, and she's also the BPSA engagement officer. So she's responsible for all the beautiful posts and TikToks and reels that you guys may see on our social media pages. And actually last AC, the 82nd AC, was Romy's first annual conference. And one thing that she pointed out was how great it was to see pharmacy students across the country eager to discuss pharmacy. So that's Romy. And then we have Dora. Dora is a third-year pharmacy student at Wolverhampton, and she's attended 2 annual conferences. And one thing that she pointed out was the how eye-opening it was in terms of career opportunities and networking opportunities, and how annual conference actually boosted her public speaking skills and her understanding of policy. And she ended on by saying that it's been an formational experience and has helped her find hope in her future as a pharmacy student, to becoming a pharmacist, sorry. And then we have Amina. Amina was our previous Western Area Coordinator, so you may have seen her around. She organized 2 awesome conferences. She organized 2 area conferences. She organized one in Swansea and then one in Birmingham. And she's currently a third-year pharmacy student at the University of Birmingham. And she's also attended 2 annual conferences where she was able to conclude that annual conference is a great way for her to enrich, or for anyone to enrich your understanding of the pharmaceutical field. It provides opportunities to engage with like-minded students and professionals from across the UK, and allowed her to broaden her perspective and understanding and deepen her passions for pharmacy. There was a variety of workshops and keynote sessions, which were both informative, inspiring, particularly the discussions on the evolving role of pharmacists in healthcare, one of which, or these type of discussions come out during conference business. And she highly recommends it for anyone who's looking to grow personally and both professionally. And then we have Asa. So Asa is a second-year pharmacy student at Cardiff University. On the left, you can see him dressed as Aladdin during the 82nd annual conference character social night. And he actually he's said quite a lot about annual conference. He's also now became a liaison. And one thing that he was able to say about annual conference is that it was a heartwarming experience that really left a lasting impact on his soul by providing him the platform for connection, learning, and collaboration with like-minded pharmacy students. So all in all, you can just see that annual conference provides a lot of opportunities in terms of networking, getting to know other pharmacy students, increasing your professional development and network, and also just insight into the future career and the role of a pharmacist. So yeah, I hope that's said enough for you guys from pharmacy students. But let's delve into and see what previous executive members have said about annual conference. So I'm just going to pass it over to Noni, a foundation trainee pharmacist and the BPSA's immediate past president. So Noni, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me speak with you all today. It's lovely to be back on a BPSA webinar. So yeah, just to speak about my annual conference experience. So I've been to 4 annual conferences now. I went to my first one in first year and then my most recent one when I was president in 4th year. And most of them have been in person, and I would say, even though I attended most of the annual conferences as someone who was already involved in the BPSA, I found that through going to the conferences, I saw a lot of people come out of their shells and really develop a great love for the BPSA just through those conferences. It's a week where you're just put together with like-minded pharmacy students and some trainees, and it almost is probably the most inspiring week of your year, every single year, because you're put with these people who are so like-minded, who are so motivated, and it motivates you to want to do better and contribute more as a pharmacy student and also as a trainee. So yeah, I would say my personal experience with conference has been basically just getting as involved as possible. When I went first came to my first conference, I was quite shy. I was a liaison for my university, but I hadn't really had that much experience with like the BPSA executive or other pharmacy students from across the country. So annual conference was my first time where I was really like pushed into like I don't know, into a space with a lot of people from different like backgrounds and different pharmacy schools and people with a lot more like experience in pharmacy than me because they were in older years or stuff, things like that. And so I was shy at first, but my main piece of advice would be to really just try and get yourself out there, speak to different people, learn from different people. You get out of annual conference what you put into it. So if you go in with an open mind and you go trying to make friends with people and just trying to learn as much as you can and also trying to represent yourself the best way you can, I think that's when you really gain the amazing things out of annual conference. I definitely say that without going to annual conference, I wouldn't have gone on to be on the BPSA exec. I wouldn't have had that motivation that really got me through my pharmacy degree. And so definitely take the opportunity. Don't worry if you don't have friends going with you, you'll definitely make friends whilst you're there. And yeah, I know the annual conference organizers this year are fantastic and they're going to put on an amazing conference for you. So yeah, that's my experience with going to conference and my little motivational push for those who are thinking about going to conference.
Thank you, Nani. We're now going to hear from Daniel, who's a community pharmacist, currently on the BPSA advisory board and was previously the BPSA IPSF officer before becoming the IPSF Euro chairperson. So, hi, Daniel.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, thank you for the introduction and great webinar so far. So just to give a bit of background to me. I'm a bit of an oldie, so I'm now a qualified pharmacist working in middle of Wales, and yeah, just really great to see that the annual conference is coming to Wales this year in Swansea, which is a new pharmacy school, so you'll get to definitely experience a new pharmacy school and maybe explore a new city, so that's definitely one big reason why you should go. So I'm a past University of Nottingham pharmacy student, and I've actually been to 5 ACs in my time. So my first one was in my own university in Nottingham back in 2019, so pre-pandemic, and then I had 2 online ACs, which was a very wild experience, but different but really exciting nonetheless. And then I've had 2 other ACs that I've attended, both in Birmingham and then also in Portsmouth. So to set the scene, tend to be hopefully a nice sunny week in April with pharmacy students from all over the UK, and it is just such an amazing opportunity to get to meet pharmacy students that you never would otherwise get to meet. I can safely say now, even after my pharmacy degree, after my pre-reg as a pharmacist, I'm still really close friends with a lot of people that I've met through BPSA. And a big reason for that is the close connection that you do make with these people at the annual conference. So definitely would recommend to everyone here to reach out to your BPSA liaisons, your schools of pharmacy. One thing that sometimes can maybe stress some people out is the money and the finances, but often you'll find that your schools of pharmacy will actually fund some of you to attend the event, which means you can actually go completely free of charge. That's what happened for me anyway, is we had about 5 students with the university funded us to go. So definitely try to reach out to your university if there's any kind of lecturer that you have that's really involved with BPSA and student initiatives, then see if they have got any funding, because that means you then get your hotel for free, your food for free, you get all of these amazing socials, you get to see some great speakers and great networking opportunities. So that's definitely one actionable step, and like a bit of homework for everyone here is just to try and reach out to maybe your tutor or some lecturers at your university, and hopefully they'll be able to help just learn a bit more about how you can actually go with a bit of support. So I just wanted to see, I don't know if there's some people here in the chat and if people are able to use the chat, but maybe if you can use the chat, just put a Y. Just want to see who's in the room, if they can chat. If they can't, that's not a problem. But I just had a few questions, but if not, it's no problem.
I'm not sure if they can chat, but they might be able to raise their hands.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
That's fine. Yeah, no worries, that's fine, not a problem. Then I'll just finish up on some of the key takeaways for why I really enjoyed AC. So as mentioned, I've become part of the International Pharmacy Students Federation, which is a bit like BPSA, but on a global stage. So if you imagine what BPSA is, all of the other countries in the world have got pharmacy students organizations. And through my time in BPSA, I've been able to learn a bit more about international pharmacy. I've been to world congresses, and all of that was because of AC, where I was introduced to this world. And I thought, I've loved meeting people from different universities, but how about different countries? So you'll get introduced to what is IPSF, what is EPSA, which will really shape if you're interested in global health, potentially positions with the WHO and other big organizations like that. You'll really get to learn a bit more about that. You also develop your advocacy skills. Also, if you're interested in running for elections, it's a really valuable experience. Whatever the outcome is, you'll find that you really grow as a person because of it. As mentioned previously, you learn so much about new career opportunities from all the different people that you meet. And as well as meeting pharmacy students, you also meet pre-reg students and some newly qualified pharmacists. So you get to learn a bit more about what's pre-reg like for those of you that are a bit nervous about what to expect. So it's a great opportunity there. As I said, fun socials, explore a new city, and lifelong friendships. And finally, just the opportunity for it to lead you onto other leadership positions. So all I'll say is I hope you're all excited. 83rd AC in Swansea, and we hope to see all of you there. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Daniel. Thank you both, Daniel and Noni, for sharing your experiences, what you guys found insightful, what you guys gained from AC, and hopefully it's inspired the rest of you to attend and make the most of annual conference, because it is really the event of the year for a pharmacy student. So with that, we've heard quite a lot from all of us on the panel today. We just wanted to give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about annual conference. Hopefully we've clarified the main questions, but feel free to use the Q&A chat box or chat function to ask any questions you might have about annual conference. No matter how small, no matter how big it is, let's, debunk our misunderstandings about annual conference, and let's get you all coming. So yeah, feel free to ask any question that you might have about annual conference. I'm not sure if you can use a chat box or speak, but if you use a Q&A function, hopefully you guys should be able to ask any question that you may have. So feel free. Hello, so we've got one question, and someone's asked, how much does it cost? So annual conference, it varies, the price varies on the package that you get. So we typically have 3 packages. Last year we opened up to 4. And so if you want a week-long package or ticket, that would include accommodation, that would include access to social nights, your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner, that would include access to BPSA day, the elections, the awards night. So essentially the entire week, the entire package, everything we've discussed. And that normally comes to about, it ranges from about £270 to £300. The max we've had recently is about £300. Last year was £300. The year before was about 270. So we're hoping to keep it within that range as well, not go over the £300 this year as well. In terms of package 2, Package 2 is exactly the same as package 1, but does not include accommodation. So let's say you're originally from Swansea, or maybe you go to uni in Swansea, you'll have student accommodation, or you have your family home, so you wouldn't necessarily need accommodation. Or maybe you're not from Swansea, but you're local to Swansea, maybe you're from Cardiff or West Wales, and maybe you're able to travel into for annual conference, then you wouldn't necessarily need accommodation. So then you'll get the package 2 ticket, which normally costs around £200 to £230. And then you have package 3, which it gives you access to BPSA Day. And then you get all the merch associated with BPSA Day. So you'll get the BPSA tote bag, bottle, and then the lanyard, which will come with, and the lanyard, and other merch that we are hoping to get this year. And then that normally is about £15 to £20. And then package 4, which was introduced last year. And then package 4 is basically access to BPSA Day and BPSA Awards Night. So you get basically the 1-day experience where you get both the day event and then the evening event, where you'll be able to enjoy the awards night as well as enjoy get access to the merch and BPSA Day and all the networking opportunities available. But I hope that answered your question. But then that's also why Daniel was mentioned earlier about funding from university, because obviously it is quite expensive, not the cheapest, but it's very rewarding, and the money definitely comes worth. It is definitely worth it. If you think about it, you're investing into your future, and I think that's the best way to describe the annual conference. Hope that answers your question. And panelists, if anyone does have anything to add, please do let me know now. Happy to direct the floor to you. If not, I'll go on to the next question, which is, how does accommodation work? So accommodation, if you are going through package 1, we will book the accommodation for you, and then when it comes closer time, we'll tell you about your room. You normally share with about 2 or 3 not 2 or 3, sorry, 1 or 2. It's normally a room of 2 or 3 individuals, so you're sharing with 1 other or 2 other individuals. If you're coming from the same uni, you could actually request to be in the same room. We do give you the option when you are filling out or you're purchasing your tickets to we ask you, would you like to share a room? Do you have a preference on who you'd like to share a room? You're allowed to put your preferences in. And then in terms of accommodation as well, everyone stays in the same accommodation. We try to keep everyone on the same floor or the same block at least. And then that's the same room that you'll be within throughout the week. And the accommodation will come with the breakfast and lunch as well. That's all within the package 1. Hope that answered your question. And unless anyone else has anything to add. But actually, just to quickly add, I'd say, even if you don't know anyone, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be a bit hesitant to this annual conference, because I know the first year I went, the only person I knew was Harvey. And then the second year I went, even though I knew quite a few people from the previous annual conference, I actually did not put a request as to who I wanted to share a room with. And that's how actually I met Agape, and me and Agape are literally like this now. Really close friends, and so sharing a room with someone may be a bit daunting, especially when you don't know them, but it does give you that insight information to other individuals, and also allows you to form those lifelong friendships that we've been discussing throughout this the course of this webinar. So hope that answers your question. And does anyone have anything to add? If not, I will go on to the next question, which is, are the offers the same for all students, or are they different for BPSA officers? So I'm going to assume you're referring to like BPSA liaison, reps, subcommittee of members, to which I'd say the offers are the same, or the ticket packages are the same for everyone. So even as us as an executive team, the ticket packages are the same for all of us, because at the end of the day, it's the exact same experiences that or expenses that we will all be incurring. So the ticket packages are the same for everyone. The only thing I'd say maybe BPSA liaisons or reps or subcommittee members may have more of an advantage of is not from the BPSA directly, but maybe schools of pharmacy will be, not necessarily that this will be the case, but they may be more inclined to send BPSA liaisons, reps, and subcommittee members to annual conference, because they know they're directly representing them. And one thing you need to remember is we've obviously discussed that annual conference is quite expensive in the sense of the ticket price. Obviously, when you do the maths, it does check out and it does make sense, and it's actually not that bad of a deal. But in terms of, you need to remember that schools of pharmacies will be funded. If they're funding you, they want to make sure that they're going to send students who are dedicated. And I guess you could argue that if you're BPSA rep or liaison or BPSA officer, as you mentioned, that you're most likely to have that dedication to the BPSA. But to answer your question directly, the BPSA offers the same package prices to everyone, regardless of whether you're an exec member or just a BPSA member. I hope that answers your question. Let's preview through. Yeah, so another question is around how many people attend AC. So it varies from year to year, to city, but in previous years we've had about 80 to 100. And yeah, so a lot of pharmacy students attending the conference from different unis, different backgrounds. So yeah, well, it generally ranges. So I'd say about from 60 to 100 students normally attend, and that includes the 20 executive members from the executive team. And then we've got a comment saying, universities always post applications a few months in advance to cover the whole fee. And previously, I was talking to my head of school and the BPSA area coordinator to have a higher chance of getting it and show my motivation to go. So yeah, that's one great thing. Thank you for pointing that out, that if perhaps maybe you're not a liaison or a rep and you do want to go to annual conference, because obviously you've heard all the amazing things that have come out of it. One thing that you could do is show your dedication, your motivation. You can write an application or perhaps maybe even attend an area conference. I know that was one thing that in the earlier years, myself and Harvey did do. We attended an annual conference, so not annual conference, an area conference. And that is showing your dedication. So, you know, if you're able to attend an area conference, you've attended a conference in general. So that definitely shows your dedication, even if you're not a liaison or rep or yeah, so like I mentioned at the beginning, there are just multiple area conferences coming up. Even if you're not able to attend an area conference, consider maybe attending a webinar, a training day, anything the BPSA has got going on. If you have those in your back pocket to be able to say that you've done it or you've attended those before, those definitely do support and show your dedication. So yeah, each school of pharmacy does it differently, and so that's important. It's important that you check with your reps and liaisons to see what the structure is within your school of pharmacy, to see how they tackle funding for AC. So yeah, have a look, speak with your reps and liaisons, and hopefully attend AC. Just clear the chat, sorry guys. Okay, next question is, when do tickets go live? And another question is, when do the packages come out? So I'm just going to answer them together. So tickets normally go live first to the School of Pharmacies. So we give the School of Pharmacies a package deal, because we acknowledge that they will be purchasing tickets for a variety of students. And so we've initially sent ticket details to your School of Pharmacies. So, you know, if you are interested to get those not necessarily application forms, but supporting letters out to your reps and liaisons to send to your School of Pharmacy heads. And then in terms of the tickets, we are hoping to bring them out in January. So have a look out for those. And yeah, that's when the tickets would normally go live. It normally depends on the date for annual conference, but this year it's a bit later. So we wanted to give you guys the time to for school pharmacies to gather students as well. So we do have that luxury and we're playing around with it. So we are hoping to release tickets in January. So have a look out for those, and hope that answers your questions. Since there's no other questions in the chat, I'm just gonna quickly give a little bit more detail about Swansea, because I realized we've spoken a lot about annual conference, but not about the next host city, which is my uni city, Swansea. So for those of you who don't know or have never been, Swansea is in South Wales. It's located about an hour from Cardiff. It's 3 hours from London, about 3 hours from Birmingham, and it's got a lot of direct train and coach links, so easy to access and get to. In terms of the city itself, it's very coastside, beachside city. We're one of the beach campus. One of the unis with beach campus. So literally opposite the main uni campus on where the medical school and pharmacy is held. We have a beach. It's a very walkable town. You can literally step out into town. You've got all the restaurants, you've got all the clubs, you've got all the the train station, the bus station, all of the local facilities that you may need in walking distance, which means that it'll be very accessible and convenient when it comes to annual conference in terms of social nights. In particular, the accommodation that we are hoping to secure is literally a walking distance. It's literally across the road, in fact, from where we're hoping to host the ball night and the awards night. So that should come in handy when it comes to, you know, transport and that is Swansea in a nutshell, and it's a very beautiful city when it comes to the good weather time. For context, I'm originally from London and I came to uni in Swansea, and I've loved every moment here. It's very different from London, but I've still been able to enjoy it. There's just so much to Swansea and so many great opportunities that can come out of it. So yeah, it's always something to do. It's always something going on, and it's just a beautiful city and town. So if you've never been to Swansea, if you've never been to Wales, why don't you kill two birds with one stone? Come to Swansea for annual conference and, you know, explore Wales, explore Swansea, but then also increase your network, get to know more pharmacy students, and increase your insight into pharmacy. But yeah, does anyone have any questions? So the chat box is currently open. So if there are any further questions, I'll give it a minute or two. And panelists, does anyone have anything to add or say based off of the questions or the entire webinar? Okay then, so it seems there's no more questions, so just going to leave it there. If you do have any more questions, feel free to email myself or Harvey at conference@bpsa.co.uk. But then what's next? So you've heard about annual conference, you've come to this webinar, and from the chat box, it seems that a lot of you are eager to come, and that's great. But before we get to that stage, why not join our focus group and help us shape the association's flagship event? So we've spoken about what is traditionally done for annual conference, but this conference isn't set in stone in terms of necessarily what it is, or what can be done rather. And essentially this conference is for the pharmacy students. Remember, the BPSA is an association run by students for students. And so whatever you guys want to see or want to receive from annual conference is what myself and Harvey and the executive team are responsible for doing. So if there's anything specific that perhaps maybe you've gone to annual conference before and you're like, well, I'd like to see this, or maybe you've heard of annual conference before, you've heard it from this webinar and you're like, oh, this is great, but this also would be really nice to see. If it's within the capacity to, we'd be more than happy to execute it for our members. So scan the QR code in the bottom right corner and register your interest to join our annual conference focus group this Thursday. And next Thursday, we'll be delving into different topics within annual conference, such as accommodation, social nights, the keynote speakers, BPSA Day, inclusivity and safeguarding, but then also just general expectations from annual conference, because it's really important that we clear the air and we see what it is that our members actually understand and expect from annual conference. So yeah, that is one thing that's coming up, and that's one way that you can get involved before annual conference actually does come. We've spoken a lot about speaking to university reps and liaisons to and financial support from your university, and it's a great time for you to initiate these conversations, especially now that the ticket sales will be coming out perhaps in January. That gives you 2 months to rally up and get your support financially and academically from your BPSA reps and liaisons and schools of pharmacies. One thing I just wanted to say as well is that I know in previous years that perhaps maybe some schools or pharmacies maybe have been a bit hesitant or may not have been as supportive, and that's okay. But one thing to remember is that it's not just schools or pharmacies that you can get the funding from. You remember the school of pharmacy is within the university, and there are different funding opportunities that are available within universities, such as employability academies. such as the student unions. And if you're going to go through a student union and your pharmacy society is part of the student union, I'm sure any student union wouldn't have an issue supporting their society members to attend a conference, especially when it's an academic society as a pharmacy society. In terms of going to an external event, it's a very good publicity for them and promo for them. So these are different avenues that you can explore if perhaps maybe your school of pharmacy isn't in the financial position to support. But do initiate those conversations and see where you can get the financial support where possible, especially if you're eager to go to annual conference, because we've clarified and established that it's an amazing event and it's one that you will definitely benefit from. And then when tickets are launched, purchase those tickets, nag your school of pharmacies to support you. There are some school of pharmacies as well, I should also mention, that are very established in terms of supporting students for annual conference. So if you reps and liaisons, if you're on the call, perhaps maybe go around with your students or the students in your uni and collate a list of students who are interested in coming to annual conference. Maybe make a Google Forms or registration form and get them to share their interest, share why they want to go to annual conference, their year group, their name, and then collate this list and send it off to your school of pharmacies. When the school of pharmacies see that they have a list of students who are actually eager to go to annual conference, they're more inclined to support you financially in going to annual conference. And then once you purchase your tickets, attend AC and make lifelong memories, because what else would you want to do? And yeah, so that's the next steps, I would say. That was the next steps, I would say. And yeah, so if that is all, just to quickly answer one question out loud. So someone's asked, when is the annual conference? Just lastly, to clarify, it is on the 13th to 20th of April. It's in Swansea. Tickets will hopefully be coming out in January. School of Pharmacy tickets or ticket bundles should be coming out soon, maybe in the next month or so. So make sure to collate those list reps and liaisons, send it to your school of pharmacies, your pharmacy societies, your student unions, your employability academies, anyone who's willing to fund pharmacy students to increase their employability and academic standing. Make sure to reach out to them. And yeah, thank you guys for joining our webinar and hope to see you at annual conference. And if I haven't said enough to convince you to come up to annual conference, why don't you at least join our focus group and give me feedback there? So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I will give you back your evening, and thank you for your questions. Thank you for interacting, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye now. No worries. Bye.